So this is the fourth episode of the Comic Portfolio. I'm here this week, as always, with Tim. I'll try and keep this introduction pretty short. For those who don't know, each week we add $200 to our budget to do some fantasy purchasing, which, as I've mentioned before, has become less fantasy and more real life. But so we've created quite a portfolio for each of us at this point. I think I'm up somewhere around 30 books. I know you have a less of a...
2, about 11 or 12.
Yeah. Because you've been saving all your money.
Yeah, I'm hoarding.
Yeah. Anyway,
It'll be worth it.
So we will get right into this one. We'll let Tim start this week.
Okay. So last week, I kind of continued on my DC spree with some adventure books, and also keeping actually in the DC Silver Age. I decided to save my money and go after a bit of a bigger book, which I don't have on hand, so I brought in a proxy to hold in its stead, just to be able to hold something up.
A proxy.
A proxy. So my pick for this week is a Green Lantern 16. This is
very nice book.
Very important book. This is not the first appearance of Carol Ferris, but this is the first appearance of her as Star Sapphire. Publication date on this is actually 1962. Carol Ferris obviously becomes even more important as Star Sapphire after Jeff Johns creates then the color spectrum and all the different color core, and she's head of the Violet Corps. So great character. Again, we're getting into earlier Silver Age, so a little bit harder to find and grade. So I picked up a
character who has seen a lot of growth over her 60 years in comics. She started off as one thing and kept changing and evolving, and
right, and she's kind of interesting in that she's both not, I wouldn't say an anti-hero, but sometimes she was kind of adversarial, but then sometimes part of the heroes, and so they just kind of are in between, so it makes it also kind of an interesting play on the character herself.
Yeah, I always felt like she was more organic in her changes than like other characters who have gone through like similar changes, but so I like this one a lot.
Yeah, and we have the HBO Max show coming up, so everything kind of Green Lantern, I would say, is picking up, and it's definitely a character whose first appearance, I think, has been kind of undervalued for quite some time, just like many of the DC keys. I don't foresee any reason why she wouldn't make it into the series somehow. She's one of the most important characters, and we've already seen spikes in like Showcase 22, which is the first Hal Jordan, Green Lantern 87 or 89, which is first John Stewart. That I would argue is probably
87, I think.
Equally as important as Hal Jordan as a character, especially for kids who kind of grew up with the Justice League Unlimited, which focused more on John Stewart as the Green Lantern.
I need to get my copy graded.
Of 87?
Yeah.
And then what was it? And then I think Green Lantern 68 is first appearance of Guy Gardner. Mm-hmm. It took me a while to track down a copy. I bought mine actually at auction. It was graded as 6.5 for $559.68. So I had $598.68 to work with this week. So with buyer's premium and all that nonsense, it came to about $560 for my copy. However, I think a good kind of comparable would potentially be the Detective Comics 359, which is first appearance of Barbara Gordon, who's also extremely important character. That book was published 5 years later, and a 6.5 runs about $1,300 right now. And so I think that's a reasonable kind of assumed growth I could see on the 6.5. And
especially if the Green Lantern show becomes successful and popular. So.
Exactly. And I mean, I would say that the Batgirl first appearance of Barbara Gordon, there's not even anything tied to it right now, just other than the rumors of development of and casting for the movie. And so
I do think that one still benefits from the 1960s show a lot. I mean, I know it was campy, but that like a lot of kids watched that as one of their first live action Batman or superhero shows, and despite being campy, we all have like that deep love of it. So
nostalgia. Plus, it's true. And Barbara Gordon, the Bat family, is always a solid buy because it has such a strong following for all those characters.
Yeah.
But I also, this is not part of the thing, but I also, a lot of Golden Age Silver Age characters for people who are new to collecting, are the product of earlier Golden Age versions that just didn't continue on from there. So Carol Ferris is not the first Star Sapphire. Actually, the first Star Sapphire was in All Flash number 32.
You're a bum. All these cool books.
So cover date on this is 1948. This is the last issue in the series. It's a really hard issue.
Why does it have a 4/5? Look, oh, okay, I can see a little bit on the binding there. Okay, the colors on that are very vibrant.
Yeah, and this is what we've talked about. Like these Golden Age colors on these books is just brilliant. And I think it's because they also have larger areas of solid color that really stand out as a result. So,
like I said, it's just so pretty.
It is. And so I thought it'd just be fun to kind of highlight that as well for folks that, a lot of these.
As much as people love the Marvel books, I swear to God, those 50s and 60s DC books, the colors on them are just so much better and pop and everything more than.
Well, I guess I would say some of like the All Select, what is it? Is that right? All Select and some of the other early 40s and 50s Marvels where you have the Alex Schomburg covers and all are pretty spectacular as well. But I agree.
I'm talking more like the 60s ones.
Oh, the 60s, yeah.
Yeah. They get so much more play than the DC books. It makes me sad.
Yeah. It's all right. That's the time we can buy them up and they'll still not do anything. And so, so there's a number of characters that, are precursors to, like we were talking about, Barbara Gordon was not the first Batgirl. The first Batgirl was actually an earlier, I think it was Batman, I can't remember what issue number, but it was Betty Kane, which was like the niece of Batwoman, I believe, if I recall correctly. So it's always interesting to look back to when these characters really, the first versions of these characters came into being.
Yeah, some of the 1940s timely ones are also pretty, like the Mystic comics and stuff. So they have some bright colors. But
yes.
Sorry, I'm still lost in the cover.
Yeah, so it's a great cover. I was happy to track it down. There's a 9/8 of this from the Promise collection going up at Heritage right now. So that'll be ridiculous to see what that goes for.
You have your bid in, right?
I'm just going to do a watch. And,
my house.
That's right. Although I could safely put a bid in knowing that my max bid would never get or would readily get exceeded by
everybody.
By everybody.
Yeah.
So I just thought that'd be fun to kind of show as well. So that's my pick for the week. I blew my budget, so I got $39 left.
You just want to make me sad by showing me these old DC books. All right, let's switch places, sir. All right, Tim, some good choices there. Glad to see you finally spending some money. Not leaving me out there, just spending it all by myself. All right, so my budget is $190. I exceeded that. So I am now $30 in the hole at the end of this one. So, all right. So my first one, I did 2 copies of the same book. Dark Horse Presents number 10. I did one for $47 and one for $57. So the Dark Horse was just recently sold to a video game company. So there's a lot of speculation around like a lot of the characters moving into that format in terms of using them. Also, so this is the first appearance of the Mask. Like I said, we're hitting that 30 year mark where the movie has been out. So a lot of the nostalgia will be kicking in at some point. Yeah. I'm sure that they'll do yet another movie. I think the last movie was early 2000s with Son of Mask, I think.
Oh, I forgot that they even did that. Oh my gosh. Was that like a straight to VHS?
I thought I went to the theater. Well, Jamie Kennedy's a terrible person, so. But anyway, so I mean, even I'm sure that there's kids and stuff that watch that one and kind of got a kick out of it. But so I can easily see them doing another movie or a TV show. And now they have more impetus to get that out there with a new owner who's probably looking for more avenues to make revenue off of the characters. If I remember correctly, I think Mike Richardson was the creator, who's the guy who founded Dark Horse. So. Okay. So that more than likely was included with the rights and everything when transferring over. I don't know whether the movie production company still has the rights to the to the film or anything. I doubt it since it's been so long.
Because usually isn't there
like 5 years? I think you have to do something with it before.
Yeah, because I remember that came up for discussion for Spider-Man. Sony had to quickly get something out just so that they wouldn't lose the rights back to Marvel.
Yeah. So like I said, this is hard to find in high grade. I think there was only like 50 copies on the census, which also shocked me, like having that few copies out there. Again, it's a little bit of a risk on this one, but I don't feel like it's a huge risk. Again, he has had a movie and all of that. Sticking with that sort of theme, though, I also got Mayhem number 1, 3, and 4. It was part of a grouping that was $46. This is the more updated version of the mask. So the first one was spelled Masque. This is the updated spelling to his name. It's also a new character. I believe it's the same character that was in the movie. Like I said, closer to what you see in that. It's also, number 4 also is the first female mask. I can see them even doing an update to it and making it more of a horror thing, less of a
slapstick.
Yeah.
I mean,
because my understanding, I've never read the Mask comics, but my understanding is they tend to be a little bit more darker than what they did in the TV or in the movie. So moving on, number 4 and 5 are, again, 2 of the same book. This is Marvel Super Special number 18. Both of them are newsstand copies. This is the first Indiana Jones in comic books. Disney, again, owns the rights to it, part of the Lucasfilm purchase. They are not going to let that property just languish. They're filming one right now. I would not be shocked if we see a young Indiana Jones type show from like the 90s kind of get relaunched on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Because they can absorb the cost of a big budget thing like that more than what ABC did
yeah.
I think it was the early 90s, wasn't it? I don't know if you remember it. Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
I think it came out about the same time as
Last Crusade.
Last Crusade.
Okay.
I think I remember that the ad for it, and it only lasted like a season or two at the
I think 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I was very upset when it got canceled. So, it's tough to find in high grade also. So the ones I chose had a little bit of dings and stuff on them, but I felt like they were pressable for the most part. I'm hoping we get them up into like maybe low 9s. I think that'll be a good purchase. Those were $25 and $35 again for newsstand copies. I felt that was a pretty good bargain. But like I said, I wasn't an Indiana Jones fan, so I may have let my my love of the character color that one a little bit. But
see, if you love it that much, there's a whole generation, multiple generations that love Indiana Jones that will have that same passion that'll want the book.
Yeah, I even read like the Indiana Jones novels from that period and stuff also. I used to love those. Unfortunately, they're all out of print, and I'd go back and rebuy them.
I bet those will go up in price as they kind of get rediscovered. Those out of print books sometimes, the trades themselves go up in value.
So, like I said, I spent $210. So I'm $30 in the hole now. We didn't do a tip yet, so if you want to do a tip for this episode, I didn't have one ready. I don't know if you.
Let me think.
I guess we can say if you find a buyer or a seller that you like on eBay, keep looking at their auctions
but also if you buy from them, you'll get the package from them and potentially their contact information outside of eBay. To legally kind of go around and just build a relationship with them off eBay if you want, because sometimes they'll work with you more on prices. They can give you a heads up on certain things, and you can more just to be able to also get a jump on what they may be offering ahead of time.
So, I mean, I think that's a pretty good tip. Definitely, I mean, the more relationships you can make in the hobby also, like, I mean, it just helps you out overall. I know I have you looking for like 2 books for me off.
Yeah, set up want lists on lots of different websites.
Yeah, you told me to set up one on CGC for the one book I'm looking for. So
yeah, I've had some success. Not always, but I've had some success on the want to buy forum on CGC. It was a really difficult book to find, and I got lucky. There was another competing ad up for the exact same book, but mine was newer, and the guy saw mine first, and so I got it.
Yeah,
sucker.
That concludes this episode of the Comic Book Portfolio. Don't forget to LCS, like, comment, and subscribe to your local comic book shop's YouTube channel, Brainstorm Comics and Gaming, and thank you for watching.